I want to make sure that everybody understands why this call is about to be amazing. Look, this information that he's about to be breaking down and about to be going over, look, this is information you can share with your teams. You can share with your newest members to help them have a little bit more faith, okay, that they made the good decision. You know, your team can have a lot more confidence in making that decision to start approaching the business model aspect, to approaching the IBO side, as well as yourself. You know, I've hopped on a few calls with this individual, and I have to say the way he breaks down why I am, every time I get a little bit more confident in myself. Like, I'm not afraid to reach out to people that I know are making six figures in other companies, because I'm like, yo, I just hopped off this call and I have the facts that says you should be with me right now. You know, you should be trading with me right now. You should be out there impacting lives with this company as well. But that being said, I know I'm a complete stranger to some of y'all. You know, my name is Louis Carcamo. I've been doing this for about 4.5 years now. Traveled a good amount because of this, made some good money because of this, lost some good money because of this. But I have to say, I have to give it all away to the individual that I'm about to bring up, because if not for this guy, I would still be ridiculously unorganized. Okay. I'd have no idea where I was going. I'd have no idea where I'm at, and I'd have no idea what to do. You know, Cruiser honestly is somebody that really took me under his wing and allowed me to exceed my own expectations. You know, he is somebody that really goes out there, and I mean, he is a real hustler. He is literally on the phone 24/7. I'm surprised he doesn't have like 5 phones for when one battery dies, right? But this is somebody that he is all about statistics. He is all about facts, which is why I'm telling you right now, if you are not able to take notes, grab something or pick out your phone, do something to take notes. Because every time I'm hopping on a call with Cruiser, this man's always talking facts. He is always talking statistics. He's always talking numbers, and he is always giving out the right information, right? So with that being said, I want to go ahead and pass it off to Cruz. I hope y'all are taking notes right now. I hope y'all are ready for this. Cruiser, man, do your Dougie.
What's good, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Awesome. Want to give credit back to Louis. He's one of my closest friends, one of my, favorite people to work with. And he's one of the most consistent people over the last 4 years. You know, people come and people go, but Louis stays. But on a serious note, he's someone who has really been a student to the game, someone who's had a lot of success, someone who is really always there for his team, always putting the needs of his team before his own needs. And we really appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for being a part of the mission, of the vision. And guys, this is one of my favorite topics. We're going to be talking about why I am. And I guess I could start with my story a little bit. Drop a 1 in the chat if you've heard from me before. Drop a 2 in the chat if you've never heard from me before. This will determine how deep I go in the story. Mostly 1s. Okay, cool. Okay, guys. So for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Matthew Cruz. I'm a 26-year-old entrepreneur. I grew up in Seattle, Washington. I live in Miami, Florida. Been involved with this platform full time for over 4+ years. I've been in this industry for over 7 years. And when you are in a specific space, in a specific industry for a long period of time, you get to a point where you've been pitched everything. You get to a point where you've seen everything. And for me, I'm an analytical person. I'm a detail-oriented person. I need to know anything. I need to know everything about anything before I make that decision to go all in. In fact, it actually took me 10 months before I made that decision to go all in with this platform, before I said yes. And so basically, guys, I always tell people that competence creates confidence, right? The more that you know, that you know, that you know, right? The more educated that you are about what it is that we have and why it is that we do what we do, I know for a fact that your belief system will go through the roof. And we always talk about raising the bar, right? Your belief, raise your actions, which will in turn raise your results. And so the topic of this call was why I am, like why this academy, why this company. But I think the real topic of this call should have been why not I am. Because when you compare it to everything else out there, it's a no-brainer, right? there's something called the law of relativity. It's nothing is good or bad. It's your thinking that makes it so, right? Nothing is big or small. It's your thinking that you got to compare it to something else, right? And when you compare this to everything else out there, you're going to see what I see here soon, and you're going to, make that decision. So let me share my screen with you guys. And so one thing I really want to break down to you guys in depth, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit of a different way, but let me do it like this. Obviously, guys, when we always talk about the cash flow quadrant, right? We always talk about the employee, self-employed, the investor, and the business owner. I'm going to break it down to you guys in a little bit of a different way. But we always talk about how 5% of people control 95% of the world's wealth, right? We always talk about how the left side of the equation, 5% of people control 95% of the world's wealth, while on the other hand, you have 5% of people who control what? 95% of the world's wealth. Now, you take a look at the left side of the equation, the employee, the self-employed. When you really break it down, just to keep it super simple with us tonight, 95% of people is how their money is being made. That's why they control such a small percentage of the world's money. They're trading their time for money, their hours for dollars. You work, you get paid. But if you don't work, you don't get what? You don't get paid. Now, trading your time for money, this is a great place to start. But if you want to create wealth, it's not where you want to stay. Your average millionaire has 7 different sources of income, right? And so there's absolutely nothing wrong with having a job. In fact, I'm the guy who tells people, yo, you should go get a job because you need a job in order to fund your business, in order to fund your side hustle, right? However, there's everything wrong with only having a job. I believe that in today's economy, that multiple sources of income is not a luxury. I believe that it is a necessity. It's something that we have to do if we want to create that, financial freedom in our lives. And so drop a 777 in the chat if you were taught, hey, go to school, get good grades, get a good job. Drop a 777 in the chat. We were taught, go to school, get good grades, get a good job. So everybody on this side of the equation, they're all taught, go to school, get good grades, get a good job. And I'm a big believer in education, but I'm not a big believer in the system in the way that it's structured. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is average student loan debt is $30,000. For the school that I was going to, it was semesters. It was weird. It wasn't quarters like most college. It was like $30,000 a semester. Right? Average student loan debt is $30,000. According to Forbes, 73% of people that are going to school can't find a job in their field. No job. I can't remember where I read this statistic, but it was from a very credible source. And it said that 85% of people that have a job, put a sad face here, hate their job. How does that sound? How does that sound? Go into tens of thousands of dollars in debt in order to have a 7 out of 10 chance to not have a job in your field. And if you do get that job, there's an 8 out of 10 chance, 9 out of 10 chance that you're not going to like it and you're going to have to do that for the rest of your life. Does that sound like a good plan? Yes or no? And don't get me wrong. I'm not down on jobs. Like I said, this is a great place to start, but it's not necessarily where you want to stay if you want to create true wealth. And if you're happy at your job, amazing. Like, I'm serious, like that's amazing. This is an extra source of income, what we do for most people anyways. But like I said, if you want to go out there and change your life financially, then you got to get to the right side of money, right? The right side of the equation. And so 5% of people, what? They control everything. Why? You might be thinking, why am I starting with this? Like, you've heard this before. I'm telling you this because if you really understood this, you would know why we do what we do. 5% of people that control everything right? They control 95% of the world's wealth. It's how the money is being made. Either A, they're a business owner, or B, they're an investor, right? Either A, they own their own business. J. Paul Getty, who's a billionaire, said it best. He said, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts rather than 100% of my own efforts. The investor quadrant, this is so key. Why? Because investing has created more millionaires than any other industry in the world. And guess what? Being a part of IM Academy, being a part of this education platform, you have the ability to be both an investor and a trader. You're able to multiply money and a business owner at the same time. You're able to share this with other people and build a business. I don't know anywhere else that does it like we do it, where you have the ability for your average person to do both. Now, let's talk about this. If you want to get involved in trading, in investing, usually, if you want to get involved in investing in the real estate or stocks, you're going to need tens of thousands of dollars. On top of that, your average trading course, anywhere from 5 to 10K. One of my close friends just enrolled in a trading education platform in Houston. He said that it was like $20,000, but he talked them down to $8,000. He got involved in that academy for $8,000. And guess what? There's one educator and one strategy for that platform. Now, you take a look at what it is that we're doing, and guess what? We have, let me write this down for you. Yeah, Jesus, right. Yeah, let me write this down for you. We got 300,000 students in over 100 plus countries. We're in 18 different languages. We have 200 professional educators that do live trading and live training. Live training, they're going to trade in front of you so you can copy their trades. Live training, they're going to educate you on how to do it so you can become self-sufficient and learn the skill on your own. We have 30 different strategies. Strategies for Forex, strategies for crypto, strategies for HFX, strategies for scalping, getting in and out of the markets fast, strategies for swing trading, holding trades for a long period of time, strategies for different types of personalities types. There's not one thing that works for everybody. And so what I do know is that we have something for everybody in this platform. And so when it comes to the business side of things, if you want to start your own business, traditionally speaking, I'll put it this way. The last job I had was as a valet parking cars. I had never made more than minimum wage at a job. The owner of this company, we'll just leave his name out because it's kind of irrelevant, but he was the only millionaire in the entire company, but he was never valeting cars, right? He was never parking cars. He was always on vacation, always spending time with his family. He had complete freedom. Why? Because he owned the business. But here's the issue. The issue is for your average person, if they want to start their own business, they got to quit everything. They got to quit their job. They got to quit all hobbies. They got to quit everything in order to start their own traditional business. On top of that, you need capital. If you want to start a McDonald's franchise, which they have an amazing system, by the way, systems in place in order to make sure that you're successful, $1.3 million to start a McDonald's franchise. You got to go to Hamburger University. That's a real thing. In order to educate yourself. And then you have to have $1.3 million to start a McDonald's franchise. But it's in Chicago. I didn't know that. If it's in Chicago, it might be in Chicago. And so, but in this business, Robert Kiyosaki talks about network marketing being the business of the 21st century. He talks about this. He talks about how the reason why this is the business for the 21st century is because it's set up for your average person, people like you and I, in order to be successful. Everything is done for you. right? The events, there's company events. We have the event in March coming up, the event of the year. If you don't have your ticket, get your ticket. If your teams don't have their tickets, that's the most important event of the year. Systems are set in place for you, right? The leadership is already there for you. The products and services are created for you, right? The customer support is set up for you. The legal team is set up there for you. The educators are set up for there for you. The payouts, the compensation plan is set up for you. The back office is set up for you. You don't have to do anything at all other than refer people to the platform. You have the same benefits of being a business owner without the risks that a traditional business owner takes. If that makes sense, drop a 777 in the chat. Perfect. So we understand that in our platform, we have the ability to both become an investor and also a business owner. And we understand that our academy really separates us from any other academy in the world. We understand that network marketing is one of the most powerful business models in the entire world, business of the 21st century. I highly recommend every single person gets that book by Robert Kiyosaki, because he talks about like in depth, like what separates this from every other business in the entire world. Now let's dive a little bit deeper. There are roughly about 1,000 companies in the network marketing space. About 1,000 companies, and every single person you talk to them, of course, they think that their company is the best company because that's why they're in the company. But facts can't argue facts. Can we agree on that? Can we agree that documentation beats conversation 8 days out of the week? So out of the 1,000 plus companies, when I took a look at this, facts, numbers never lie. When I took a look at this, the first thing I asked myself is, what's the vision of the company? Where do they see this thing going? What's the vision of the leadership? Where do they see this thing going? And I saw, okay, empower, enrich, and educate 1 million lives. That was something, I don't know if you can get behind. That was something that I could get behind, because trading and investing is one of the best ways to make money in the world. But I will say that I believe that a true success, real success, is measured by the impact that you made in the lives of other people. I believe that real success is based off of the success stories that you've been able to create, not just you and yourself. And so I could get behind that vision, and I could get behind that mission, empower, enrich, and educate 1 million lives. Now, I took a look at the company deeper, because as a detail-oriented person, there's only 4 things that separates this company from every other company. And I'm going to break those 4 things down to you right now. So next time someone says, okay, what makes this different than this? This is your answer. And this is very important that you know, and this is very important that you understand, because when you understand this, your belief will be on a whole nother level. So number 1, when it comes to this industry, is timing. Timing is important. What happens if you get in the right relationship at the wrong time? Does it work or not? Well, the answer is no, right? So let's talk a little bit about the timing. You would never want to involve yourself with a startup business. Why? Answer is because 95% of them fail. Now, we're already 8 years in. We're in 100 plus countries. When people say, is this legit? My answer is, yo, listen. Do you think we've been around for 8 years in over 100 plus countries with over hundreds of thousands of people in it? Do you really think that this would still be around if it wasn't legit? I love to answer questions with questions, right? Because then you get people to think for themselves. So timing, you never would want to involve yourself with a startup because 95% of them fail. However, I'll tell you guys this too. I believe it was Harvard. I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty certain it was Harvard did a study, and they said that In your average network marketing company, the top earner will join around year 9. Our company started in 2013 on Independence Day. So we're about 8 years in. What does that mean? You take a look at all the top earners in the company and all the success stories that have taken place already, and the top earner hasn't even joined yet. Isn't that insane? What does that mean? What that means is there's massive room for growth. Like, understand, like, we're just getting started. Anything that happened before has been a warm-up. What's about to take place in the next few years, next 5 years, next 10 years is going to be where massive, massive, massive growth and momentum actually takes place within this organization. Timing. You guys are at the right place at the right time with the right people. We say that all the time, but it's the truth. Number 2 is leadership. At this last leadership convention that we were just at, we got to hear from John C. Maxwell, #1 leadership speaker and author in the planet. He has written 86 books on leadership. 35 million copies have been sold. He's wrote more leadership content than anybody on the planet. And in fact, I think I have more of his books than I do of anybody else when it comes to one specific author. And here's what he said. He said that everything rises and falls on leadership. Show me a thriving organization and I'll show you a leader that knows what it is that they're doing. And man, you take a look at everything else out there, you can't recreate a Chris Terry. You can't duplicate an Alex Morton. You can imitate them, but you can't duplicate them, right? The Jason Browns, the Matt Roses, the David Amanitiers, the Bryce Thompsons, the leadership here is unmatched. You know what's crazy? You can actually go on Business for Home right now. You can do it after this. It's a website for this industry and the facts and figures and all that. Half of the top 10 income earners in this industry are actually in IM Academy. Let me say this again. Let me tell you guys this. There's over 1,000+ companies. There's over 100 million people. Yes, I said that right. 100 million people in this industry. The company's only been around for 8 years. We still haven't even hit that hyper momentum yet. And half of the top 10 income earners are in this company. Facts. You can't argue the facts. Leadership. We have the best of the best. If this makes sense, drop a 222 in the chat. Cool. Number 3. By the way, this isn't in any specific order. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is just the order that was in my brain. It wasn't in like an order of importance or anything. Number 3 is compensation plan. Over the last 7 years, I've seen some amazing compensation plans and I've seen some just absolutely terrible compensation plans. But if you're going to do the same job, wouldn't you want to get paid the most for that job? Yes or yes? And I'll tell you this. When it comes to compensation plan, one thing that I was looking for was simplicity. Tony Robbins said this. He said that complexity is the enemy of execution. You see most people fail in some of these other platforms. Why? Because it's so complex. It's so confusing. You got to take a math class in order to understand how their compensation plan works. You think I'm joking? I'm not joking. I'm being 100% serious. In fact, next time someone tries to pitch you an idea of another platform, I want you to say this. I want you to say, show me exactly how to make $600 a month in your compensation plan right now. 9 out of 10 people won't be able to do it. Let me ask you guys a question. How many customers do you need to make $600 a month in this platform? in the chat box, how many customers do you need to make $600 a month? 12 people. 12 on, the regular memberships, 9 on the elite. I'm not going to get into the details. I don't want to bore you with binary compensation plans, unilevel, matrix, all these different things. I'm telling you though, if you want to do your own research on that, go right ahead. It's on YouTube. I'm telling you, next time someone says, oh, hey, take a look at what it is. Show me how to make $600 a month in your platform. And tell me that you don't have to literally take a math class in order to understand what it is that they're talking about. You will be absolutely mind blown. But the problem is, if this is the only platform you've ever been a part of, sometimes we tend to take things that we have for granted, especially when we don't know. Like I said, we have nothing else to compare it to. So I encourage you to educate yourself and learn about these different kinds of concepts that we're talking about. So the simplicity behind all you have to do is refer a few people who refer a few people, and you can make an extra $600 per month. That is absolutely insane. That is life-changing. Another thing with compensation plans is, I'll say this, your average compensation plan pays out 30 to 40 cents to the dollar. What does that mean? If your organization generates $100,000 in sales this year in 2022, about 30 to 40,000 will get paid out back to you and your organization together. Our platform pays out 70 to 75 cents to the dollar. That's more than any other company that I've ever seen. So, like I said, if you're going to do the same job anyways, wouldn't you want to find the highest paying job in that industry? And here's another thing too. Our compensation plan is very residual based, right? It's like, okay, if you get X amount of customers, you're going to get paid X amount. It's funny. A handful of years ago, I was a part of a health company, and, it was a lot of the money that you made was based off of like commissions. So people were making like all this upfront money commissions, but there was no residual on the back end, right? And so it looks nice, it sounds nice, but when you actually know what you're talking about, it makes 0 sense whatsoever. In fact, in that platform, there's a low, average, and a high in the compensation plan. Here, when you hit a rank, you get paid that. Yeah, no, that's not how it worked there. There was a low, average, and high. And every single person I knew was getting paid on the lower end of the compensation plan. So imagine I told you, hey, if you get 500 customers, you can get paid up to $10,000. But it might be like 3 or 5. You don't really know. It's insane. But when you take a look at what we have with the simplicity, it's not a joke. I know you guys are laughing in the chat. I'm being dead serious. No joke. When you take a look at the simplicity, when you take a look at how much the company is paying out, by the way, in a product-based company, they're absolutely amazing. But obviously there's a lot more overhead because they have to, pay for the shipping, pay for the products, pay for the, manufacturing, all that. And that's why there's not as much, profits, right, for you. But when you take a look at the simplicity, when you take a look at what's the word I'm looking for? The simplicity, number one, what did I talk about? What was I talking about earlier? I can't even remember. It being residual based, and I talked about something else too. Oh yeah, being paid, 75 cents to the dollar, which is more than any other platform. It is an absolute no brainer. So that's number 3. Now, number 4 is services / products. I was already making a full-time income in my previous business before I got involved in this. So if I was to do this, I needed to know that we had something that was going to impact people. And like I said, I was 19 years old, 20 years old in a health company selling health supplements to kids my age. And I'm sorry, but I don't know about you guys, but 19, 20, 18-year-olds, they don't care about their health like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I truly believe that what we have is impacting people on a bigger scale than anything else. And let me break this down. There's a success principle. It's called the law of compensation. And here's how it goes. The amount of money that you make is a direct reflection of, number one, the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty that there is in replacing you. Is there a need for what we do? Is there a need for financial literacy? Is there a need for education? 78% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. 7 out of 10 people are living off of $10 a day. I'm talking about worldwide. I don't know if you know this, but worldwide, 7 out of 10 people are living off of $10 a day. There is a massive need for what you do. So that's taken care of. Your ability to do it. If you get really good at what you do, then that takes care of your ability to do it and the difficulty. It would be very difficult to replace you, which is the third question. But when you take a look at the services that we have, it's unmatched. We already talked about it earlier. We already talked about 200 professional educators, 30 different strategies, a complete academy that teaches you, basics to intermediate to. We have it all. We have, when it comes to the strategies, half of them are what? Human-based trade alerts being sent to you. Half of them are what? Artificial intelligence strategies that scan the market for you to find high probability. It's all there. Everything, it is all there. And so when you take a look at these 4 things, you take a look at the timing, right? You take a look at the leadership. You take a look at the compensation plan. You take a look at the services and products all together, all in one. And you come to the realization that this is it. So I would encourage you guys on this call. There's 2 types of people on this call, by the way. There's the ones who have made the decision to go all in, and there's the ones who haven't. Maybe you just got started recently, so you don't know what it is that I'm talking about, and that's perfectly fine. But now that you know, I would encourage you to plant your flag. I would encourage you to not look left, to not look right, but to look straight forward and make that decision and go all in. Because once you do that, once you make that decision to go all in, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 1 year from now, you might be in a completely different financial situation than this. And I'm telling you guys this, for your average person, somebody with not a lot of money, somebody with not a lot of time, broke college student, single mom, there's not a better financial vehicle on the planet that could take your average person from point A to point B. From me being a couple years ago, working as a valet parking cars, never made more than minimum wage at a job, was living in a 2-bedroom apartment with 7 of my friends because we're all broke trying to save money. Somebody who is the most naturally introverted person that you could be. Someone who had to borrow the money to join this industry, to go from being broke, busted, and disgusted to becoming financially free, to being able to have complete freedom, to being able to have, financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom. That's complete freedom right there. Financial freedom, being able to have what? Unlimited income potential, to being able to have time freedom, being able to do what you want, when you want, where you want, and location freedom, being able to travel around the world. Where else can you do that? Where else is that a possibility for a 20-something-year-old kid, let alone a reality? Make that decision in my dreams. Make that decision to go all in. You know the craziest part? The craziest part too is you could start part-time. You don't have to quit your job. If you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, you can keep them. If you have kids, you can keep them too. You don't have to change anything in your life And you can start this part-time until it eventually becomes full-time. And I didn't even talk to you about two of the other, I'll close off in this. The last two reasons why I am. Number one is the community. You take a look at the people on this call. I really grew up in this industry. I really grew up in this company. And the power of association is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. Whoever you surround yourself with, you become. And I don't think that there's a better group of people to be surrounded with than the people who are in this platform and the community. And I've built thousands of relationships that I never would have been able to build had I not gotten involved with the platform. And number two is just the person that you become. I always like to make this joke. I said, I like to tell people, if you've seen where I was a handful of years ago, you would be excited about your chances of success of being involved in this platform. The person that you become in this is priceless. The skills that you learn, we always talking about making more money, but the reality is once you shift your mindset in one area of your life, things start to change in a positive way in every area of your life. So that's it, family. I'm going to upload this video probably to my YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed on there yet, go ahead and do so. I'm starting to post all my trainings on there. If you guys have any questions, we're all, one big family. Feel free to hit me up on Instagram. I'm here to help you guys all out. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your guys' day, and I will talk to you all soon. Peace.